Hello everybody and welcome back to Keep It Real, episode number 28 now. 28. Can you believe we're 28 episodes into this series and until now we've not even harvested one of our own fields. That's very slow. Purposely slow. Purposely. I like it. But yeah, today is the day we will be harvesting our first field. Now, do you know what? I haven't actually looked to see if it's ready. Let's go back to the actual yard itself. We'll do a quick check-in on the animals like we do every episode. Just make sure they are definitely shown ready to harvest. They should be. I'll be a bit frustrated if they're not. But it's not the end of the world actually, even if they're not, because there's plenty to do. Oh gosh. Just like I was talking about in the last episode, this thing is awful. Every time I drive it, it gets worse. Yeah, it should absolutely be ready to harvest, but there's plenty to do either way. We've got to collect all the stones from the new field, the field that we made last episode. We've then got to plant it. We've got to hire some form of stump grinder. There is a lot to do. Do you know what? I'm kind of unsure. Oh dear. Oh, I kept it. It's good. I'm kind of unsure what sort of money you'd make from this because I've never really done potatoes before. And this is a pretty damn small field. Tell you what though, from here, that certainly does look like a better colour, doesn't it? Let's go the proper way. Yeah, that looks more like a harvestable colour. So remove foliage. So luckily that harvester we're using, I don't believe you have to do that. You can just go straight in. My big concern is, and it is a big concern and I just don't know how it works, but the man pulling the harvester may kind of destroy the field through spinning up and things. Because you remove the foliage and the potatoes are actually under the ground, in theory you would assume it would still harvest the potatoes, but I don't know if the game works like that. And actually, are we going to lose a lot of this yield? I don't know. But it is great to see that that is ready to go. So, while we're up here, let's check on the milk machines. They should still have a little bit of food. Yeah, not very much though. Oh, they got 1100 litres. We put a lot in there last episode, didn't we? Or a couple of episodes ago. So they're still doing alright. What was the milk? 1,444 litres of milk in there. Honestly, absolutely insane the rate that these are producing. And what are they looking like for? Okay. So this one's nearly hit puberty. And this one is not too far away. I say not too far away, given that we're doing kind of 3 episodes per month. That will be quite a while. Hopefully they'll have some nice new living accommodation by the time she's ready to give birth. All the way down the bottom there. That's my plan anyway. Right, we'll go for a nice gentle jog. Let's check in on the ducks. So they should be eating their way through. Yeah, the 50%. It's still showing 100% productivity as well though, which is good. So I just want them to kind of use up that corn a little bit. For some reason though, it's showing 0 pieces of eggs, which is strange, because I've not touched them. Okay, well there's 100 there. Maybe there's something strange going on with corn and this mod. Maybe that's what it is, because when there was grain in there, the egg production was normal. Yeah, the health has dropped to 0% as well. Right, I'm really confused by this. I am confused by this. Let's just fill it with grain. I might have to do some XML tweaking, I think. Potentially, we've lost a couple of ducks there. I don't know. I don't know how many we had before. Odd. Very strange. Okay, right. I've just topped them up. There's still more. I'm pretty sure we've got some grain, about 400 litres in the shed, actually, which we can do with a shovel. So we might have to do that. I don't understand that. So corn is 50% effectiveness. So why, if I only feed them corn, does the health drop to 0%? I'm pretty sure these have either all condensed into one, or we've definitely lost. There were quite a few more before, I'm sure. So I feel that we might have lost them, but we have got 5 males to sell, which we'll replace with 5 females. So actually, we're going to have 17 females. So they're definitely getting better. They're definitely breeding, which is good. In fact, I think our original male duck might have died. I think it has, you know, because we haven't got an adult duck. I think our original ducks have died. Maybe it's due to their age. I'm not too sure. Okay, right, well that's another job to look at some point. I'm going to have to do some work with the ducks. But, first of all, God, I've probably been chatting for 10 minutes now, haven't I? Do you know what? While I'm here, I've got one more thing I need to check on as well. These should have been producing pretty damn good in the meantime. So, another crate and 110. That's nearly created another one. Amazing. That's really good. So there's about £2,000 sat there already. Nearly £3,000 by the time those two pop 2 more out. Great. These passive incomes are starting to pay off now. Apart from the ducks. Anyway, right, we're going to head straight to the sawmill or the biogas, whichever one takes our fancy. And just get rid of these random bits of logs. If we get there in one piece. I am going to sell this at some point, by the way. It is just awful. It is really bad. What I'm thinking is I might wait until I get another tractor and then get rid of this at the same time. But it's that whole speed thing that I'm kind of worried about. You know, if I get a tractor, even a faster tractor that can do 30, just over 30, it takes a long time for me to get to somewhere the other side of the map. So I do need something a bit quicker really for certain jobs. Nipping out to see what contracts are available. You know, I want something a bit faster than a tractor. So what I'm thinking is I might install like a scrambler bike. I know there's a Husqvarna bike that you can purchase. Now I'm too busy talking, and actually I've gone the wrong way. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, so I'll probably download like a little scrambler bike. Well, I've already downloaded it and activated it anyway. But I think that might be my way around the whole slow vehicle situation. Oh dear. Okay, we are here. Is it going to let me unstrap them? It's just weird, you know. They're right there, and it won't even let me unstrap them. I don't like doing it inside the cab. It just shows you, doesn't it? Look at these tyres. See how kind of flat they're looking. Not exactly put much weight in there, have we? Really awful. Right, this probably ain't going to be worth anything, if anything at all. Actually, let's find out. Oh, £191. That was not worth the fuel. There you go. Right, wow. This is it. This is the big moment. Let's head back, grab the man, get the harvester at least, and get on with our first ever harvest. Now, the reason I haven't paid back much of the loan, by the way, which is something I need to do, I need to prioritise the loan, but I need to lease this harvester, and I can't remember what it is. We're also going to need to lease the trailer, which can obviously carry the potatoes so that we can sell them. And then once the harvest is finished and we know how much money we've made, at that point I think I'm going to have to make some larger repayments on the loan. I need to try and reduce these monthly costs down. But I have also been thinking, you know, rather than putting all of my effort into paying off the loans, it would probably make more sense to not pay off the loans and actually save up to buy a house. And then not have that £800 bill. And I'll tell you what, actually, just pulling up outside reminds me, we've not even paid our rent. Let's do that very quickly. So £800. £800, not as much as what we're paying on the loan repayments, but at least the loan repayments each time we make them are knocking down the loan amount. Whereas that £800 is, you know, it's paying for someone else's mortgage, isn't it? It's not, we're not benefiting from doing it. So I do think that probably is priority, to try and pay that off. Anyway, here we are. We're going to switch over. We'll leave this piece of junk here and jump into the man. Now we need to disconnect the plough. Still quite a lot to do here, you know. I can see it a bit better today now that it's daylight. This is when you consider how big our potato field is, this is absolutely huge. It really is. Now it isn't big, certainly compared to like that, but this is, for us, absolutely massive, honestly. And I reckon there's another 10-11 grand's worth of wood sat in that trailer. And honestly, I said it at the last episode, right at the end, but we've got 23 trees here. At least if I can count properly anyway. 23 trees here. Everything we've made so far, we've made from 18 trees. And we've not even sold probably a quarter of that. It's still sat on that trailer. So actually, there's a lot of money here, you know. There's 30,000-40,000 pounds worth of trees just sat here. Just slowly growing, swaying in the wind. So for that reason, I think I'm going to keep the front loader and the log grab on lease. I'm not going to return that because we're going to need to use it. I don't overly like leaving stuff kind of abandoned without it being in a shed, but I guess later on in this episode, once we know where we're at from a money point of view, we'll kind of be able to organise ourselves a bit better. But so for now, I'm just going to disconnect this. Not allowed in this state. What do you mean? It's already down on the ground. What are you talking about? There we go. It needed to be down in the ground. I think it's because it's not for this tractor. I don't know. Right, so I'm also going to leave the plough here because it was kind of, I won't say a rush job, but when I was doing this ploughing it was very late for me, which is why that last episode, for me, I don't know, maybe I wasn't, but for me, I thought when I was editing it I sounded a bit, I could tell I was tired when I was doing it. That is for definite. Right, lower that plough. Disconnect that too. If I can get around there. There we go. Right, we'll leave them there. Because I can definitely go bigger. I'm sure I can. And I could do a little bit more in this area. I can definitely go a bit bigger. Maybe I can go around the outside a couple more times. I don't know. Maybe it's even worth chopping down that tree over there. Not sure. But yeah, I'm thinking here, this area here, somehow I'll put the bunker silo for the silage. Problem is, of course, it kind of clicks into place, doesn't it? It doesn't allow you to free place them as such. So I don't know what angle it's going to put the silo in compared to this gap. It would be perfect if it was kind of almost at the angle that I'm at now, just like that. That's exactly how I would want it. But you guarantee it won't be like that, will it? Another part of me wonders if just in that little space there where I have just dropped those two tools, whether or not I just put one of those cheap sheds, one of those £2,000 sheds there. Just give me a little bit more storage down here. Don't know. What I don't want to do, I want to have like one main farmyard with all the storage nice and organised. We also live there, so it's secure. I'm assuming like you would do in real life. I know if I had a lot of equipment, I would rather be on site, certainly overnight. So that's kind of what I want to do. I don't really want to get into building sheds all over the map and random sheds in different bits of land. But you never know. Needs must. Right, we're slowly making our way to the shop. 19 miles per hour. I really love this tractor, by the way, and I know that some of you have actually downloaded it and using it as well. And it has its moments, but for what it is and what it costs, do you know what? There isn't much it can't do. Not at this level. At the basic level, with the smaller equipment, it's quite an impressive tractor. It really is. I mean, even I suppose to pull a 3-furrow plough is quite impressive. But we are about to test it. We are about to give it its biggest test so far, and this will make or break it, I'm afraid. This will make or break it. We're certainly going to know by the end of this episode if we need to replace it, or at least get another one. Not replace it. I think that will be with us till the end, I think. It's got some sentimental value now. Right, let's jump in here. Oh, I haven't actually checked use, but there is absolutely nothing. Ironically, there is a potato harvester there. I think it's safe to say that is not any good for the man. Yeah, I think that's understandable. I'm not even going to try it. £93,000. Yeah, that is a lot of money, isn't it? Right, potato technology. And that is what we want. Supposedly, you only need 25 horsepower. Supposedly. I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay, so it's going to cost us £433 to lease. Not bad at all. Really not too bad. So let's just do it. We're just going to get on with it. Does that honestly only require that small amount of horsepower though? I'm very much doubting it. I'm very much doubting it. We will have to see. If this thing has too much slip, I really am concerned we're going to lose a lot of yield. We'll have to see. No, I've never used this harvester before either, but I'm pretty sure from watching Sir Dagwin used it in Vintage Survival. Well, at least I think this is the one he used. I'm not sure, but it certainly looks quite similar. And I'm sure he didn't have to remove the foliage. But if I'm wrong, that's going to be a bit of an expensive mistake, maybe. Right, so PTO and hoses. There we go. Kind of connects up alright. Floating a little bit, but it's fine. I mean, to be fair, it drives like there's nothing even on the back of it. You can't even notice it. I'm curious to know, actually. I don't know, why does it allow you to customise a seat? Can you sit in it? No. I wonder why it gives you the option to have a seat. It would be pretty damn cool, you know, if this was like a multiplayer type thing, where you could sit in it and maybe sort the potatoes and make like the premium potatoes out of it, like you used to do in FS19. That would be quite cool if that was an option. Maybe that's a future plan. Anyway, to be honest, this isn't as big as I thought it was, so that is a good start. But I have no idea how this is going to go. Alright, okay, here we are, back at the farm. So will it go? Yep, it got over the bridge, alright, that's a good start. Now, I feel like common sense would make you think it's best to go around this way. But, I don't know, if I pull forward, is it... Yeah, see, it is ruining it, it's getting rid of the foliage. But is it still there? So it still says remove foliage there. I don't know, you know. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not sure. Right. Let's lower this down. And... oh gosh. Right, harvester lowered. Okay. Doesn't look particularly low. Turn it on. Okay. Be interesting to see if the bit that I'm driving over, is it collecting anything? Because if it's not... okay, right, what I'm going to do, I think this is fair and I think you'll agree. Look, in real life, if you crushed a bit of foliage with a tractor wheel, it does not change the fact that you're still going to get the potatoes out of the ground, which is underneath, isn't it? You're growing it underneath. But because I'm driving over it with a tractor wheel, I'm losing the yield. I think that's a flaw in the game, if I'm honest with you. So, I'm going to do it. And I think you'll all agree anyway. But either way, you know, this is all about trying to keep it real, isn't it? And I just don't think this is real. So, trying if I can remember what I'm actually doing. Crop destruction. I'm turning that off. Just for this job. Because I just don't feel... look, that would be correct. I'm still going to try and do it realistically. I feel that trying to limit crushing by going around the outside is the kind of more real thing to do. But yeah, I don't know. That's just not... for me, that's just not right. What I will say, by the way, wow. 250 litres already. from that. From literally that. I was I was thinking, maybe stupidly, I might get away without using the trailer because the Mahindra can tow 400 odd at a time. Wouldn't be too many loads. Yeah, maybe I'll change that idea. I feel like maybe it's going to be a lot of loads. Now also, if you position this single furrow properly, it actually does pick up more than one row. I'm sure of it. It's picking up a lot more than that. Yeah, like now it's picking up 2 now. Maybe that is a bit cheeky. Maybe that is not keeping it real. I don't know. Right, let's try and do this properly. I think the tyre slip will probably still damage the crops. Even though crop destruction is off, it's still going to damage them. So that's fine. That keeps a little bit of the realism in it, I guess, doesn't it? So the only way to get around that, really, is probably, oh dear, to try and figure out if we can turn around. Maybe that's easier said than done. Currently destroying all of our bushes. Good. Right, so the best way to avoid this kind of slipping is to try and not go uphill. So, like this should be okay. This would be our safest bet. But yeah, I imagine that it's kind of, it makes sense. Crop destruction should not really apply to a crop that grows underground. You know, the fact that we're literally supposed to chop the foliage off anyway, what difference does it make that we've crushed it? It wouldn't make the potato disappear, that is for sure. So I think this is a fair improvisation. Yeah, it is definitely spinning up quite a bit of crop though. Do you know, I have no idea what we're going to make out of this. I really don't. And we are losing quite a lot. This has not started off as the nicest trip in the world. This no, this is not particularly good. I think once I've got these few bottom rows done, it'll be a lot neater and I can do it in a nice short time lapse. Hopefully it'll look a bit more pretty. Okay, right, well, what do I say? It's not done very much and it's already full, so that is promising. That is really promising. All these bits here where you can still see the kind of rows, the lines, but you can't see any crop, is where I'm spinning out and losing it all. So I'm losing quite a bit here. I am losing quite a bit, but yeah, it's not too bad, is it? I wonder what £2,000 of potatoes is actually worth. Let's have a look. Literally, I'm not lying when I say I've never done it. Not very much. So we've got £500 worth of potatoes there, which in all fairness has only cost me about that to lease the machine. So we've paid for the machine, which is a good start. Now we're just kind of trying to pay for the equipment that we've used and the fertilizer. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of money we need to make from this, but there is a lot left to do, isn't there? Right, we're going to have to go for a little walk, and I'm pretty sure actually I can cut through here. Go for a little walk, grab the Mahindra, we're going to utilise that to be the trailer pillar for the minute. This will be maybe its final test. Let's climb through the bushes. Yeah, if it doesn't do a very good job at this, then it's going. You know, if it can't even pull a trailer, it is absolutely useless to us. And we will sell it. I don't know what we'll get. Maybe we'll get 5 or 6 grand for it. I don't know. But fortunately, anyway, this seems to be a bit of free land, so we can get away with running up here. I've done it a few times. And our field is just down here. They've got an even bigger job, haven't they? Cool, rather them than me. Tell you what we could do with doing eventually is buying that field. We can make that a proper track, couldn't we? That would be great. Right, where did I leave that Mahindra? I know I dumped it here somewhere. There it is. Right, head back to the shop. Lease ourselves a trailer. Right, again, I feel like I am leasing too much, but maybe that's just me. I'm someone that whenever I play, I tend to play like the Somerset, one of my first ever series, the Saskatchewan one, which is still probably one of my favourite series, and I do want to get back into that, by the way. But I've always played with rules of no leasing, so I guess anytime I lease anything, I kind of feel bad inside, like I shouldn't be doing it. And then this series, I've gone complete opposite, and I'm literally leasing everything, honestly. But I think by the end of this harvest, I need to have a real good think. Oh my gosh, it could barely pull this empty. Oh. Yeah, I need to have a really good think about what I've actually got on lease and start to organise some stuff, because we need to start reducing these bills down all the time. It's getting a bit too much now. You know, we're losing 4.5 grand now every month just from bills. Yeah, it's too much. It is far too much. This Mahindra it's just got to go. It's got to go. We're going backwards. The accelerator is on full, and we're moving backwards. Honestly. It's just so bad. You'll notice, by the way, I bought a dolly, or I leased a dolly. My hate for dollies, as you will know, was kind of overridden by the fact that I knew the Mahindra wouldn't be able to tow it very well. I didn't think it would be this bad. I actually didn't think it would be this bad. In fact, how am I even going to get out of this situation I'm in now? If I roll back anymore, I'm going to hit someone's car. Oh man, this is a disaster. It is moving. Oh, it's registering this 1 mile per hour now. Yes. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, I'm not going to lie. When I sort of wiggled, I kind of... The actual Mahindra went across the other side of the road, and the other car tried to drive past the one behind. And it actually gave me a bit of a bump up the hill. It was quite helpful. Thank you very much for that. Now, this is a real disaster. Somehow, the Mahindra's got to get down that field. At least it's downhill. And I think I'm just going to have to dump this at the bottom of the field and then drive the harvester up to it each time. There's absolutely no way the Mahindra's going to pull this with any sort of weight in it. So, as it stands, we're, well, I guess you could literally say we're a one-man band. I like that. Oh, come on, it can't even get over the bridge. Well, I hope so far you're enjoying an episode of me trying to get a Mahindra back to the yard, because that's about all that we've done so far. Now, let's try and do this without spinning the ground up too much. But literally, even just trying to move is spinning the ground up. Look at it. This thing is really awful. I've done my best to try and defend it. I really have. Because no one really uses them. I've never used them. I've never even given them a chance until this series. And I've done my best. But there's just some things you can't make look great regardless of what you do. Look. Look at this. We were just on flat ground and it's an empty trailer. Wow. Right, I can't do it. Just reverse the man back a bit. Honestly. Absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully this bit works without any problems anyway. Right, come on. How do I unload it? So is this difficult to do? Yes, is the answer. I guess potatoes are far easier in a completely square field, but then every crop's easier in a completely square field. Where do you actually get completely square fields? Like 100% of the time, certainly where I am, you don't even see square fields, to be honest with you, let alone have them all of the time. So yeah. This is difficult though. This is difficult. It's what this has done is put me off potatoes again. And actually what it's done is put me off the new premium DLC. Because essentially it's exactly the same thing, isn't it? They've added 3 new root crops and it's pretty much identical to harvesting potatoes. Just different harvesters, but yeah. I don't know. What I probably will consider though, as not straight away, but as they start to introduce some different mods, mods that suit this series a bit better, I'd probably do a field or 2 with those new crops, the new root crops. I think carrots is something that would be quite good. So that will be something eventually, maybe. I don't know. But for a minute, yeah, this is difficult. This is very, very difficult. But it's getting easier with every pass. Now, before I start going back up the hill, I'm going to have to stop and reverse, go backwards, and just empty the load, because maybe that's what's making it a bit harder. I don't know. Let's get to the end here, and then we'll reverse back. Right, I'll probably put the rest of this in the time lapse again. I'll see you very soon. Okay, right. Good progress, I think. Good progress. We've just unloaded another load. Now there is just shy of 8,000 litres in that trailer. I've just had a quick check. So all of that work, 8,000 litres, 250 quid per 1,000. Yeah, not a lot of money. I'm not going to lie, not a lot of money. In fact, we've almost got more money sat at the top of the farm from our apple trees, where we actually haven't done anything compared to all of this. But there you go. What do we reckon? 2,000 more out of this? Yeah, maybe. We might get one more load. But progress. It's good. It's experience as well, isn't it? You know, I've never done this. Hopefully it's a little bit different to watch. Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. But it is dark. And I know from history, dark, by the time it's uploaded to YouTube, doesn't really mean you can see it that well. I can still see it quite well, I'm not going to lie, but I know that you probably can't. So we're going to end it there. To be fair, I think this is probably a good episode. I'm thinking around 40 minutes now, which is good. That's about where I like this to be. So we are going to finish that in the next game day. Going to pay a little bit of a leasing cost, but to be honest, I never expected to do all of this in one day. In fact, this is a lot more than I thought. Definitely. But good, all good. Good experience. What on earth is that moving down there? Weird things going on in this farm. I hope that bull doesn't turn up. That'll freak me right out. I'm not even planning this and it's freaking me out. Anyway, right. Good. Really good. So that's it for now. I am just going to check the used shop. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be lovely? Do you know, that's actually I don't know, I might have said it before. I think that's my favourite tractor in the game. It's just a shame it doesn't have a front loader option, but I really like that. I really, really like that tractor. 100,000. It's not going to happen, is it? Right, that's it for now. Anyway, I reckon you'll probably be seeing this episode on Thursday. So I won't do any more Keep It Real this week. I've got to jump into roleplay story mode. I am actually ahead of myself for once. I'm normally kind of struggling to get the roleplay story mode finished by Friday, ready for the Saturday, where actually now it's Wednesday for me now, and I've got the rest of my day off to try and get on the roleplay story mode. So, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice change. Not kind of in the back of my mind concerned about whether I'm going to get it done. Hopefully, I might even get the following episode done this week as well. That would be amazing. Right, but until then, anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, I look forward to the comments, and before that kind of weird looking weed freaks me out anymore, cheers and gone.